We are now on tutorial 4-2 on page 149. And step number 1 says, if necessary, click Chapter 4 GDB in the catalog tree to expose its contents in the right panel. So let's do that. And you'll see that the 3 files that we imported are there. Now, I want to show you something interesting here. If we actually go look in that folder, Chapter 4.gdb is nothing special. It's just a folder, an ordinary Windows folder. And what's inside it are all of these files here. And that's a whole lot more than 3 files. But this is what ArcCatalog does for us. I'm going to close this window. What ArcCatalog and ArcMap do for us is they take all of those files and they combine them into these 3 things that we see here. That makes sense for us. So the software is really hiding all the ugly details from us, and it's just showing us something that makes sense to us. So there's a lot going on in the background there. This is why if you ever need to make copies or do any file manipulation, you always need to go through ArcCatalog rather than trying to do it through Windows Explorer, because you're not going to see the same things if you use Windows Explorer. Okay, so these are our files, and we want to right click on this, and we want to actually we want to click on it and then do the preview up here. And there's our preview, and this should look like the one in the book on number 2 on page 149. And at the bottom of the preview window, select Table as the preview. And we want the description tab. Oops. And this is what you get. This is basically some documentation or some metadata, which is data that describes data. And you can take the time to read that on your own. We're going to go back to the Contents tab here at the top. And we can, if you look at your turn up there at the top of page 150, it asks you to go preview the other file, and I'll let you do that on your own. Rename the feature layers is what we're going to do next. In the left panel under Chapter 4, we want to right click on the file right here, and we want to choose rename, and we're going to call that cities. And we're going to right click on this one, and we're going to rename that, and we're going to call it tracks, and hit enter. And in the left panel, we want to right click on cities and click copy, and then we want to go up here to our database, and we want to right click on that and choose paste. And click on OK. And now we have cities and cities 1, which are 2 copies of the same thing. And right click on cities 1 and click delete, and okay. So that didn't actually do anything for us. That was just an exercise to show us how to do it. Okay, if you look at the Your Turn part at the bottom of page 150, it says basically do what we did a minute ago, and that is to open up Windows Explorer and go to the C drive and sRepress and JST1 and my exercises in Chapter 4, and here's our Windows folder. And if I go up one step here and right click on it and ask for the properties, it should tell me about 1.35 megabytes or 1.53 megabytes, depending on which number you choose. It also says it has 55 files in here, and I do not have 55 files. I have 54. I don't know if that's going to be a problem or not. We'll see. So it takes up, from 1.3 to 1.5 megabytes. depending whether you're talking about the actual data or the total amount of disk space that it uses. And so I'm going to minimize that now, and we're going to go to the top of page 151, and in the left panel of our catalog, right click on chapter 4 GDB and click administration, and what we want to do is we want to compress the file geodatabase. Click on OK. And let's go back here and check, and let's right click on this, and if it's done with the compression, if we go to properties here, it is, about 1/4 to 1/3 smaller than it was before. Okay, so we can close that, we can minimize this, and now we're going to go back over here, and we're going to right click, and we're going to go to administration, and we're going to uncompress the file geodatabase. So we're undoing it and click on OK. And that brings us to the end of section 4-2. So we'll stop there and go on to 4-3 in the next video.